Do your forehead again.
Can't. That hurt.
One more
Is that Josh?
Nope. What are you gonna do if he's won and you're just abusing yourself for no reason?
Oh yeah, that's what it is. Ready?
Yes.
Kissing marks?
It's red. Do your forehead one more time.
Hey guys, it is Tristan with Nerdettes Newsstand, and I want to talk a little bit more about this Johnny Depp and Amber Heard situation. Now, I know I have covered it heavily lately, but when I get on a subject, I want to know more about it, and when more and more news comes out, I think Johnny Depp deserves for it to be covered. Now, I did speak the other day about a post Amber Heard had made on her Instagram, and I will put a link to my other videos pertaining to this in the description. But as this post on her Instagram started getting more and more viewed, when the audio leaks came out, she started deleting posts. Like, I'm really not surprised, but what is so bothersome about it is she was deleting posts from real survivors of domestic violence that were saying, look, you're making us look bad. This one in particular says she's deleting comments of survivors just trying to voice an opinion, not bullying or harassing comments, just factual opinions. She is silencing real survivors. What is even more disturbing about that is, as I was looking up the information about the lawsuits, which I will go over just here in a few minutes, is that the UN made her a human rights champion. That's not a joke. As of right now, she is a human rights champion. The woman that came out, faked abuse, is rallied as a champion. That is so disturbing on so many levels. I don't understand why this hasn't been revoked at this time. Like, for a person that deserved it, it would be a great honor. She doesn't deserve it. I do want to talk about these transcripts, and they have been going around a lot more now that the audio leaks came out with Amber basically admitting to hitting Johnny Depp, calling him a baby and such. So these transcripts have come to light. This is a tweet. It says, I witnessed Amber Heard being verbally abusive towards her former personal assistant, Kate. Her then assistant, Kate, called me several times in tears regarding the treatment she received from Amber. Now, this is Laura Deverne. Now, we will talk about her a little bit more later, but this is exactly what it says. I witnessed Amber being verbally abusive towards her former personal assistant, Kate, screaming at her on the phone. Her then assistant called me several times in tears, very upset regarding the treatment she received from Amber. The people closest around Amber are coming out, not only Amber, but Johnny Depp too. We will talk about Tara Roberts just in a second, and I have some court documents I want to share. But the people around her are coming out and saying, this is a problem. This is a problem when it came to her marriage, her ex-girlfriend, her assistant, Johnny's assistant. There is a pattern. This woman has serious issues, and she's getting rewarded for bad behavior, which is such a shame. But I do want to talk about these court documents because they are appalling. They are shocking, and this, like I said, comes from Tara Roberts, who at the time was Johnny Depp's assistant. Now, she, at the time this was taken, had worked for Johnny for nearly 7 or 8 years. So what we're going to read is pretty disgusting, though it's not surprising from what we've learned about Amber. So it says, during the evening of December 29th, 2015, Johnny drove to the office alone in a John Deere Gator. he had said that he needed to get away from Amber. I understand that. Even in relationships that aren't, abusive like this, sometimes you just need a break. Sometimes when you're fighting, you need to get away, cool down. That is completely normal. This is where it turns to not normal. She was standing in front of the vehicle, screaming at him, apparently not letting him get away and blocking his path. It gets worse. After repeatedly berating him with increasing ferocity, she was insulting him, calling him names, and in the middle of the onslaught, I heard her say specifically, "Your career is over. No one is going to hire you. You're washed up, fat, and you will die a lonely man." She was also screaming things that were incomprehensible. Now, let me remind you, this was her husband. Her husband, the man she married because she loved him. Now that is debatable. I have some people saying that they thought it was more of a clout marriage for her, not him, which is a shame. He doesn't deserve that. But, yeah, this isn't something you say to somebody you love. And when was Johnny Depp ever fat? Like, let's be real. You're saying these things when he's a 10 and you're a 4 when it comes to the industry right now. Yes, you have wrecked his name, but I feel like slowly the pendulum is moving, and it is getting closer towards the point where we're actually seeing people come out and believe Johnny Depp, and that's amazing. He absolutely deserves that. So let's take a little look more. It says at some point, Johnny tried to leave again. He repeatedly asked for the keys for the vehicle, which she had taken and refused to give back to him, and we later found in the house. He was responding to her verbal attacks by saying, "Go away, leave me alone." He didn't say anything back. He wasn't mean back. He just said, "Leave me alone." He didn't call her fat. He didn't say anything bad about her. Simply leave me alone. Amber screaming and berating him rose to a fever pitch, and Johnny continued to yell, "Go away and leave me alone." At that point, I can't imagine. Like, I feel bad for the man, but he should have called 911. Dealing with this time after time, you've got to have those receipts, but at least he had some eyewitnesses. So she says she hung up and immediately ran to the parking lot. I saw Amber lunge at Johnny, clawing, tugging, and aggressively pulling him. He continued to stand there, yelling at her to stop and leave him alone. This is a hard situation. I would hate to say defend yourself and have her get hurt too, but a man has the right when being attacked by a female to defend themselves. Self-defense is okay. Now, obviously, raising your hand, real abuse is not okay, but self-defense absolutely is. When he stepped back to leave, her onslaught would start again. During the entire incident, I never saw Johnny hit Amber or push her back, nor did he even physically react to the attacks. Again, I really feel like he could have at this situation, but then again, I'm not there. I was never a fly on the wall, so it's hard to say. I saw that he now had a red swelling gash on the bridge of his nose. Amber, Johnny then told me, had thrown a quart-sized can of liqueur thinner into Johnny's face, causing the gash. My God, you're hitting, you're throwing things, you're berating him. How much more can you do? So there gets to a point where obviously physical abuse is terrible. But what I'm seeing the pattern with Amber is a lot of control and manipulation and physical abuse that does so much damage to your psyche, and she doesn't even realize the years of damage she could cause. Goes on to say, Amber, so we do a little bit of a time gap here, and they're talking about after the incident. Amber was makeup free and unmarked through this Christmas visit to the island. She was actually makeup free when on the island. I never saw her with a sign of injury on her face or body whatsoever. Now, we do know shortly after that, she claimed, in these pictures showed up of her saying that she had all these injuries, but they were never present during the actual time it happened. And so it says, during the departure of an uninjured Amber and of Johnny, who had a visible gash on the bridge of his nose. Also present to the island during the late 2015 visit was Johnny's son, his daughter, his daughter's friend. Johnny's children did witness the aftermath of the night before as I got there that morning, explaining to them what had happened, and I took them to their father. Johnny's children witnessed this. This is, they didn't witness the entirety of the thing, but kids know. They're not dumb. They know what's going on, and it is terrible to have to go through for Johnny and then have to explain it to your children. Like, at that point, she was their stepmother. Like, have a little bit of responsibility, but she has none. This goes on to say, I never saw Johnny, who is an unusually kind man, be violent or aggressive with Amber or anyone else. Now, we've seen this before. Plenty of people have come out, including exes and bandmates, saying, that's not him. That's not how he acts. I observed then to my colleagues that Amber was a thrower, someone who threw projectiles. I also witnessed that Amber lunged violently at Mr. Depp, pulled his hair, and committed other aggressive physical acts against him, as well as the visible aftermath of these incidents. Prior to Johnny's marriage with Amber, he was outgoing. This is what's the most worrisome. So, the thing about it is obviously physical violence is terrible. This part broke my heart simply because emotional and manipulative abuse lasts longer. Like, bruises fade, and I understand it's terrible, but the emotional abuse and what it does to your psyche is what kills and lasts forever. So it says, prior to Johnny's marriage to Amber, he was outgoing, friendly, social, and was in a family environment. He would visit the island. Throughout their relationship and marriage, there was a distinct change in Johnny. He was once social and an animated person, and now he spent days sleeping, became withdrawn. He changed completely. That is depression. That is directly because of being treated like this. This is direct evidence of what his psyche was going through, and it's heartbreaking. Nobody deserves this, especially to have it turned around and say it was you. I can't imagine what he's going through. Like, does he still go to the mirror and say, am I washed up? Am I fat? These things really kill a person. So like I said, this was Tara Roberts, and I actually have another person saying that Amber Heard's friend is who we're going to talk about now, shockingly defended Johnny Depp from domestic abuse allegations and said that the actress was never injured. And this is Amber's friend. I want to make that clear. I was with Amber and interacted with her frequently on several days immediately following her abuse allegations, including these days in May. Now, on those days, I worked with Amber, retrieved packages for her, rode elevators with her, and saw her up close and in person. None of those days immediately following the abuse claims did I observe any sign of physical injury or abuse, including redness, swelling, cuts, bruises, or damage of any kind. I never saw Amber injured in any way, although I am now aware that she has claimed differently about the abuse. So, she is saying, those days that we saw pictures of when Amber came out and said, this is what Johnny's done to me, those were, and I said I figured before it was makeup, but we have someone saying they never existed. They just simply didn't exist. I can't believe how far somebody would take it. Now, I think I am going to do a separate video to talk about the defamation suit, because there was, in Virginia, there is legislation passed, and these bills basically are aimed at these lawsuits, like Johnny Depp and Devin Nunes, and there is some other suits. Now, that is a whole nother subject to go into, but it could affect the defamation suit, and I want to kind of see how that unfolds before I talk about it. But if anyone deserves a defamation suit, the loss of income simply for Jack Sparrow or other jobs, the loss of respect, the way he looked in the public eye, at some point he has to get vindication. He deserves vindication. I did see another, so this is about the third I've seen, change.org petition come out saying we want Johnny Depp back as Captain Sparrow. And I totally get it. I signed it. I think he has gone through so much. His name has been dragged through the mud so much that he really deserves this defamation suit. Not that he needs the money. It's not the point of the money. It's the point of some sort of justice. This is just, it's one thing after another with this girl. Like, how much further can she take it? What worries me is the psyche, the emotional abuse that he's gone through. Because that's not going to go away. That's not going to go away. He's going to be haunted by that for a while, and that's really, really unfortunate. Let me know what you guys think, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Hey guys, I want to give a huge shout out to my Subscribe Star and Patreons. You guys literally make this channel possible. Black Knight Fool, Brucey, Chris C, Dave Ross, David L, Jeffrey Allen Carnes, Sanjuro, Jeremy Burtz, Joe Bustify, Kato Roan, Magical Exotic Diamonds, Mighty Pauls, Mike Buckner, Robert, Steve Glasker, Timothy French, Ala's Matt Films, Alexander Trapp, Way Else One, and Troy Reiser. You guys are absolutely amazing, and I want to say thank you to each and every one of you. Don't forget to subscribe and like on the way out, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.